The World Cup is just weeks away, and really shocking news for fans of the U.S. men's soccer team this week. Star Landon Donovan didn't make the cut. What's up? Why isn't he going to Brazil?
Landon Donovan has played a lot of soccer in the last decade. He's pretty much averaged about a match every 8 days for 10 years. And even he has admitted that his body isn't what it once was. He's 32, but if it's possible, Arun, he's an old 32 to be on a soccer pitch. And plus, he also took a couple of months off to kind of reevaluate everything in his life. I mean, Team USA doesn't really have a chance in Brazil, so why not stock it with young players who are going to get an amazing amount of experience on the brightest stage possible in Brazil, and then look forward to 2018.
Hey, Martinez is the co-host of Take Two on member station KPCC. Hey, always great talking with you.
Thanks, Arun.
Coming up, 20 years ago, we first met him. Shy at first, maybe a little disoriented, but soon his flair for fashion and his puppy dog eyes would warm our hearts.
We have Gimp.
Oh, the Gimp. For all the fame the other actors in Pulp Fiction enjoyed, we still don't know much about who played you, do we? We'll unmask the Gimp in the next part of All Things Considered from NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from Constant Contact, whose toolkit provides online marketing campaigns from email to events to surveys to social at ConstantContact.com. From the George Lucas Educational Foundation, creator of Edutopia, a source for what works in education. Learn more at edutopia.org. From Fifth Generation Incorporated, maker of Tito's Handmade Vodka, American-made and gluten-free. Recipes at titosvodka.com. And from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. This is NPR.
We're funded by you, our listeners, and by Cape Cod Shoe Supply. Flip-flops and accessories inspired by the classic sailor's knot bracelet. More information at capecodShoeSupply.com. Summer lives here. And the Davis Museum at Wellesley College, welcoming Read My Pens, Madeline Albright's traveling collection starting June 9th. Tickets by reservation at thedavis.org. We're funded by you, our listeners, and by CoachUp.com, sports-specific one-on-one coaching for aspiring athletes who want to develop the skills and confidence needed to reach the next level. CoachUp.com. LaSalle Village, a retirement community with class. Learn more about campus life Thursday, June 5th at LaSalle Village 101. Register at LaSalleVillage.org. And Roach Brothers and Sudbury Farms, creative entertaining, now accepting catering orders for communions, showers, graduations, and family celebrations. Roach, BROS.com.
I'm Janine Herbst with these headlines. Police continue to look for a reason that a gunman opened fire in a mainly student community near the University of California, Santa Barbara last night, killing 7 and wounding 7 others. The suspected gunman is among the dead. The head of the Department of Veterans Affairs says he will now allow more vets to go to private clinics and hospitals. Eric Shinseki made that decision today. The VA is facing allegations that veterans have died while waiting for treatment. Pope Francis is on a 3-day trip to the Middle East. In Jordan today, in a speech to King Abdullah and political and religious leaders, the Pope thanked them for allowing hundreds of thousands of Syrian refugees into their country. He also called for greater protections for minority Christians across the Middle East. I'm Janine Herbst, NPR News in Washington.
From NPR West, it's All Things Considered. I'm Arun Roth. It's time for the new and the next. Carlos Watson is the co-founder of the online magazine Ozzy. Each week he joins us to talk about what's new and what's next. Welcome back, Carlos.
Arun, good to be here, and an early happy Memorial Day.
Likewise. So there are a million ways in which I'm happy that I was done with dating by the time that Facebook and other kind of social media came on the scene. You know, people have to deal with breakups and deleting all those posted happy couple photos. But for people who aren't settled down and don't want to cramp their style on social media, there's an answer. Tell me about the social media prenup.
What an absolutely genius idea. So the idea is that for all the folks who post photos on Facebook or Instagram of their love affair and their great relationship, when it goes south, there should be some way to say, you know what, the really intimate stuff, you can't just post and release. You can't bomb me in that way. And so the idea is up front to do what Kanye suggests that we all do, which is to get a prenup, but this time for social media.
And you know, that could be a serious thing, because you mentioned things that are fairly intimate. You know, there's that horrible thing now, revenge porn, when people are posting very intimate pictures of their exes as a way to get back at them.
Very much so. You know, there are about a half dozen state legislatures that have been looking at passing laws to restrict the amount of this kind of social media revenge that can happen. And so this idea of up front discussing a social media prenup, I think, is a creative one. And a marriage and family therapist couple down in LA, Sherry Myers and her partner, who came up with it, one of the things they've been advising is to have this conversation early, such that when you do come up with an interesting photo, an interesting love note, even in that moment, you can say, hey, let's be clear, this is a social media prenup moment, so that everyone's really clear about that.
Now, when we're talking about prenups, are we talking about an actual legally binding document?
Not talking about a legally binding document at the moment. They're saying save the money of lawyers, but they're saying that the informal agreement is important for one of the way it works is if I do a couple of apps, one which is called Couple and the other which is called Avocado, which can be part of the enforcement mechanism for saying that post-breakup, this content that we want you to share, you can only get access to it if we both agree.
So something else you can worry about when you're posting something on your smartphone is that we might actually be in danger of running out of the key components used to make smartphones. Those are the rare earth minerals. But Carlos, the answer may lie where?
It may lie on the ocean's floor, some 15, 20,000 feet below sea level. As you were saying, most smartphones include about 17 rare earth minerals. You usually can't pronounce the names of them. Things like irium and dysprosium and thulium. But the reality is that most have come from mines in China. There's an increasing shortage, plus the Chinese have been playing a little bit of hardball, first with Japan and then with the U.S. not shipping some of it. And it's led a number of people to look below the water for what are these kind of potato-looking rocks that contain some of these very valuable minerals.
Now, is there a reason that we hadn't found those before, or is there an issue with getting to them?
They had been discovered before, if you will, by some British scientists in the 19th century, but it was thought that it was going to be too difficult to extract. And most recently, particularly some of the German scientists have come up with processes to now extract these rocks on minerals easier and cheaper than you otherwise would.
Carlos Watson is the co-founder of the online magazine Ozzy. You can follow all the stories we talk about at npr.org/newsandnext. Carlos, thanks again.
Arun, great to be with you.
The Cannes Film Festival awarded the highest prize today, the Palme d'Or, to a Turkish movie called Winter Sleep. 20 years ago, that same award went to this beloved film. Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. It's filled with much recited dialogue and iconic characters, but one remains shrouded in mystery, a character without a single line.